Hey guys, let's discuss new round, which is round 5, system design from Meta interview loop. Okay, so the question is given: design Facebook newsfeed. So Facebook newsfeed means when you log into Facebook, right? You get the post, multiple post. When you do scrolling, the post will append on in your newsfeed, right? So all those posts are coming from the newsfeed engine, and which is finding the content. Okay. To show and then re-ranking them, which one should show first and then later, and when you do the infinite scrolling, it will append the content there. Okay, so that is what you need to design. So see, here we will be talking about two roles, which is E5 and E6 of Meta. E4 can also use the E5 answer, and E5 is senior software engineer, E6 is staff engineer. Okay, so expectation differ by level. So what E5 is expected to say: see, he will design a scalable newsfeed with feed generation, ranking, caching, and pagination. Caching also, right? And pagination also important because there we are talking here about the infinite scrolling. So that is infinite scrolling for user, but at the end, in the backend, it is pagination only. Okay, so 10 post, then next to 10 post, then 100 post, something like that. And caching also. So let's say I log out or I just close the tab. Again, if I open the tab, it should not call again to the service database and get again those posts. Okay, if means if it is updating, it will update in the cache also. Okay, so caching is important there in that case. Then E6, so he will say that design Meta's global newsfeed platform with hybrid fan out. So fan out, hybrid fan out means fan out read, fan out write. So we will see that. Okay, so like for example, you're a normal user. Okay, so whenever you will log in, if any new feed come from the news feed, it will deliver it to your inbox. Okay, it will push into your inbox. But if you're, let's say, you're following some celebrity, okay, and celebrity has posted something, so it will pull that thing. So we will see that in push and pull model. Okay, so now E6 will staff engineer, so he will say that design Meta's global news feed platform with hybrid fan out, ML ranking, okay, then distributed caching, multi-region deployment, and observability. Step 1 and step 2, we'll see the functional requirement and non-functional requirement. Okay, so functional requirement, the system should display personalized feed, the very first thing. So personalized feed should be there, then support infinite scrolling. Okay, then show photos, videos, stories, and post, rank post, insert advertisement, respect privacy setting, and then support real-time updates. Now non-functional requirement, so billion of user, okay, it should support system, and then millions of posts per hour. Feed latency should be less than 200 millisecond, and then high is availability, highly scalable, cost efficient, and highly personalized. Okay, if I, so he will say that I would build a newsfeed service where user post and stored separately from feed generation. Okay, so user post will stored separately from feed generation. Now feed request would retrieve candidate post. Okay, so means see, in, let's say, somewhere your post is stored and your feed generation, news feed generation model is different. Okay, so it will, so they both will be separately he will store. Now feed request would retrieve candidate post, then rank them based on the user profile preferences, sorry, and then cache the result and return paginated feed with infinite scrolling support. So something like this. High level architecture will be looking like this. User request will go to API gateway, then it will go to feed service. Okay, then he will get some feeds, and then candidate generator will generate candidate from there. Okay, after that ranking system will rank those feeds candidates, and then it will go and store in cache also for next time. Then post storage. Okay, it will post it will go to it will save that post also, and then feed response, it will give it to feed response, and then feed response will display it in the user's profile. Now E6 will say at meta scale, I would separate feed generation, candidate retrieval, ranking, ads, insertion, caching, privacy enforcement, and observability. I would use hybrid fan out, distributed cache, ML based ranking, and real time updates while keeping feed latency under 200 millisecond. So enterprise architecture, if you wanted to see, it will look something like this. So user request will go to API gateway, then from there different services. So he has separated all the services, right? So feed service, ranking service, advertisement service, and then privacy service. And from that it will go to Redis cache, then feed generation, post store, ML ranking, and then feed response. So this is the flow. Now let's talk about some follow-up questions here. Okay, so first one is feed generation, push and pull, push versus pull. So this is what I was talking about, push versus pull. So here, see, if I will say about the push model is generate feed when user post. Okay, user has posted something, it will generate the feed. Good for normal user with fewer followers. Let's say I have 100 followers in Facebook. So that is good for me, 100,000, 5,000. Okay, but then pull model generate feeds when a user opens the app, and better for celebrity users. So now I am a celebrity, so this will be better for that pull model. Celebrity users means not for me, actually for my post. Okay, if someone is following me, so for that. Okay, so E6, what he will say, that use hybrid fan out approach, means normal, for normal user use fan out write. Okay, that time only it is writing. Someone means, let's say my friend, she created one post. Okay, so that time only, when she created post, that time only it will get write in my inbox. Okay, so whenever I open the app, I will get that. And then for celebrity user, let's say now third person is the celebrity, so if he has posted something, so his post will be fan out read, means I will pull that whenever I'm logging in, because the problem is, let's say that because the follower will be more for that celebrity, right, in millions. So if he is making one post, you cannot go to million user and then write into their inboxes, right? Whenever they will come online, that time only they will pull, and then they will see the post. So this is how the concept of hybrid fan out approach. Okay, now follow-up question 2 is ranking pipeline. Okay, if I will say that generate candidate post first and then rank them before returning the top results. So candidate post will go to feature extraction. Okay, before sending these things to AI. Okay, that is called the feature. So this feature extraction, feature will get extracted here, and then it will go and give it to ML ranking model. Okay, and there it will get inserted the advertisement, and then final feed you will be seeing. The ranking model score post based on the relevance and engagement. So now follow-up question 3 is celebrity users with millions of followers. So same thing he is talking about. Okay, if I will say that avoid pushing post to every follower, generate feed dynamically. And E6 will say use fan out read. This avoids writing millions of feed entries whenever a celebrity publishes a post. Same thing he is saying. Follow-up question 4 is related to pagination. So if I will say that use cursor-based pagination instead of offset. Okay, now what is offset and what is cursor-based pagination, we'll see. So cursor-based pagination means, see, this is better performance than consistent ordering and lower database load. So here offset-based pagination and cursor-based pagination are two ways to fetch the large data set page by page. So suppose you have 10 million of user and wanted to show 100 user per page. Okay, so offset based pagination, if you see, you tell the database that skip first 10,000 records and then give the next 100 record. So for example, in first page I'm sending 100 records. Okay, second page I will say database skip top 100 record and send me another 100. Okay, then after that another 100. So you are telling database to skip the records. Okay, and then send the remaining one. So something like this, select star from user, order by ID, limit 100, offset 10,000. Okay, so conceptually it is like page 1, for page 1 offset is 0, for page 2 offset is 100, because 1 to 100 so you have already showed it, right, there. Okay, and then for page 3 offset is 200. Okay, because 200, 1 to 200, 300 users you're showing there. So the problem is that for large data set, offset, for example, something like this 10 lakh. Okay, the database may need scan or skip a huge number of rows before returning your 100 rows. So offset pagination becomes inefficient for large data set. So that's why the concept of cursor based pagination comes in. So instead of saying skip 10,000 records, okay, you say give me next 100 records after the particular record. For example, select star from user where ID is greater than 10,000, okay, order by ID, limit 100, and here 10,000 is the cursor. So for example, the flow becomes something like this. First request will go, okay, it will get first 100 users, then last user id, okay, user id equal to 100. So now cursor is pointing to 100 now, okay, and then next request comes. So it is saying where id is greater than 100, so next 100 users it will give, and last user id then 200, okay, will become, and then cursor will become 200 in that case. So cursor is kind of a, you can say, a variable holding the last accessed record, you can say. Okay, so that is the cursor based pagination. Now follow-up question 5 is related to infinite scrolling. Okay, so when you scroll, you don't see paginations there, 1 2 3, right? You're just scrolling it infinitely, and the posts are getting appended, okay, in your on your news feed. So that is the infinite scrolling, and return feeds in small batches, so like 20 posts, then next cursor, then 20 more posts. So E6 will say that prefetch the next page in the background to reduce perceived latency. Now what is perceived latency? See, whenever you are giving some request to ChatGPT, and when it is returning you response, that time you can see that you are getting response word by word, right, and not at once you are getting the full paragraph. So that is the perceived latency. It is taking time to generate response, but until it is generating the full response, okay, it is giving you to few words to start reading, right? So that is the perceived latency. Latency is there, but it is perceived. Okay, follow-up question 6 is cache strategy. So which cache strategy you will be using? So see, E5 will say that he will use the Redis. Okay, Redis for what? User. So what he will cache? User feed he will cache, popular post he will cache, and then user profile he will cache. Okay, now E6 will say use multiple cache layers. Okay, so multiple cache layers for feed cache, ranking cache, user profile cache, and then feature cache. So invalidate cache intelligently after new post and privacy changes. Follow-up question 7 is fan out on write and fan out on read. So if I will say fan out on write, okay, faster read and higher write cost. You're reading there, so higher write cost, but it is faster. Okay, and then fan out read is lower write cost but slightly slower reads, because when you're opening your Facebook, that time it is going there and then reading. Okay, and then fan out write, so it is already writing in your inbox. Whenever you're logging in, it is just taking from your inbox itself, the feed. Now E6 will say that use fan out route for fan out write for regular user and fan out read for celebrities. So this hybrid strategy optimizes both performance and cost. Follow-up question 8 is saying ranking signals. Okay, so use signals such as like, and then based on these signals you will rank the post. Like, comment, share, recency, and user interactions. Okay, so recency is also important. New post only you will show in the feed on top. Additional signals like watch time, then relationship strength, content quality, predicted engagement, negative feedback, diversity, and then freshness. Okay, so an ML model combines these features into a ranking score. Follow-up question 9 is advertisement insertion. Okay, so E5 E6 will say insert a sponsored post after ranking organic content. So after in ranking on the, we have seen that in the architecture, right? Advertisement insertion was after the ranking step. So follow-up question 10 is real-time updates. Real-time updates is E5 will say that push new post using WebSocket or long polling. Okay, here you cannot use HTTP, you have to use WebSocket or long polling. And E6 will say use event streaming. Event streaming means you will use the Kafka in between. So you news post will go to Kafka, okay, and from there different consumer or workers will work on that. So feed update service, and then from there client notification. So this minimizes latency while avoiding constant polling. Now, follow-up question 11 is story expiration. You have put it one story, okay, and it will get expired. So we are not storing that story anywhere, right? It will delete that story after some time. So if I will say automatically expire stories after 24 hours, and E6 will say that store expiration timestamp and use scheduled cleanup jobs to remove expired content efficiently. Follow-up question 12 is related to privacy setting, okay, which is very important. So if I will say that filter post based on the user privacy before displaying them, and E6 will say every feed request passes through the privacy service that validates friends on the post. Okay, I have made post which will get displayed to my friends only and not friends to friend. So it will check that group visibility, block list, okay, and then regional restrictions. So privacy enforcement occurs before ranking. So that's it. Thank you.